Seems like my only hope is time will show you who I am or for you to have any trust in me. Wish we could talk peacefully. I love you and I always will. Oh, and obviously, if you need somewhere to stay tonight, you can stay here. Thank you. Been thinking about what you've said to me tonight and about how each time I would have to leave to do a visa run and you would be saying it could be different. You were right. You are right. And I know I really blew it. I'm sorry. Father ponders aloud whether the relationship between the parties had taken a toll on Mother after Mother watched Father love minor child so unconditionally. And Mother may have wished Father felt the same about Mother, given that Mother sought to marry Father on several occasions. This is very sick and twisted that he thought I would be jealous of his relationship with his daughter. This was after years and years of me begging and pleading for him to move to America to be close to his daughter. During Grant's interview with the Guardian ad litem, she reports, as a result, Father began to contemplate whether Father had made poor decisions in refusing to marry Mother, as Father felt that Father's family of 5 years, despite all of its dysfunction, was slipping away from Father before his eyes. Father began to question his prior choices and whether reconciliation with Mother was necessary or possible. Father admits to attempting to reconcile with Mother and employing his current therapist at this time to assist Father in sorting out his emotions. This therapist was the first professional that Grant had ever paid and hired to create the narrative of the victim role that he was so desperately trying to portray. The soonest I'll be back. Do you really not see it? Besides Corona and no foreigners allowed in the country at the moment, there is no visa for me to apply for, Monica. Literally not one visa category or a way to apply to come back in. I'm going to go back with no foreseeable way back here. Not being here for the fall yard will have me losing my job too. If I can find an American girl to marry in Australia that's willing to move back here and live in West Palm Beach for 3 years, fucking tall order, and cultivate the relationship in, say, 3 months, get married, then processing time used to be approximately 8 months, sometimes as long as a year and a half, but who knows with the world now. If I could pull this off somehow, it would definitely not be in. Other options, if Mom finally manages to sell Hawk's Nest after Corona is done and lends me the proceeds, that's not even enough funds for the investment visa. So we'll need to work something else out somehow. But that visa also has similar processing times. I could also go back and try to go to university to get a degree and try at some point do a transfer and semester abroad over here and try and change my visa somehow once here. Lastly is the hope that I win the lottery again, and for some reason that they didn't last time I won, they processed me. I applied for that in November and would get me back here sometime in 2022. This became imminent, and you were the one person who had the ability to change the situation for our family, for our daughter, and you wouldn't, and you didn't, and you chose not to when it was imminent. We were about to get hit by a train, and you wouldn't push us out of the way, because in the past, you've offered to push us out of the way when the train was not close. I promise on my life I will never ever tell Teddy, and I pray she never finds out. This isn't to try and make you feel bad, although a possible byproduct. This is saying I call bullshit. I'm not sure what your intentions are with these messages, but I assume they are to make me empathize with you more, and I already do empathize with you immensely. Or maybe they are to try and make me feel guilty for not marrying you, but you and I both know it's much more than 2 meetings and going to the courthouse. It would require us having to live together for at least 2 years, joint everything, including bank accounts, mortgages, everything, and being in a real relationship. It was a huge ask, and you had nearly a decade to work on this. You waited till the final hour. This is not my fault. It does not mean I don't feel awful for my child, and of course for you, but this is not my fault.